Welcome. Today we're looking into some truly unsettling accounts. These are stories shared by individuals who encountered something terrifying, something unexplained.
Experiences where folklore and reality seem to bleed together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to recount these experiences, these documents, if you will. Just listen closely to the details. Our first account comes from Montana. It's from a high school coach, recalling something that happened when he was younger, working at a small college there.
Montana. Big sky country. Can feel pretty isolated.
Right. It was late summer, maybe early fall. Still light out, you know. He's driving this old truck, bench seat, the whole deal.
Okay.
Driving past these big fields, hay and grain, and he sees a hitchhiker.
Ah, the hitchhiker.
Yeah, so he pulls over. This was pretty common back then. But the guy, he looks strange.
How so?
He was wearing this really outdated suit.
Yeah.
Baggy, sort of zoot suit style, and a big hat, like straight out of the 1940s.
That's odd, especially for the heat.
Very odd.
Yeah.
Overdressed.
Yeah.
The man gets in, doesn't say a word. The coach asks where he's going.
And
He just points. Straight ahead. Yeah, that's it. Refused to talk, just pulled his hat down like he was going to sleep.
silent treatment.
Yeah.
Creepy.
So they're driving along in silence. Then, just out of nowhere, the man tips his hat up, looks out the window,
Okay.
and he just commands, "Stop the car now." Not asks, commands.
Forceful.
Right. So the coach, a bit startled, pulls over, lets the man out.
And the man just walks away.
Not exactly. He stands there for a second, and then he just bolts, takes off into the field in a dead sprint.
Into the field. Weird place to run.
Yeah, the coach thought maybe he, needed to relieve himself or something, so he waits a bit, then starts pulling the truck back onto the road.
Yeah.
Slowly. It was an old truck.
Right. Takes time to get going.
He glances in his rearview mirror.
Yeah. What did he see?
The hitchhiker. He was back near the road. But he was. He was on all fours.
On all fours, like an animal.
Yes. And running, or maybe crawling, after the truck. But the speed, he said it was inhuman. Just impossibly fast.
Chasing the truck on all fours.
Chasing the truck. The coach just floors it, shish-tailing, eyes glued to the mirror, until he finally outruns whatever it was. Loses sight of him.
It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
He gets to a gas station, calls his wife from a payphone, tells her what happened, tells her, lock the doors, lock everything.
Understandable reaction.
But her reaction wasn't what he expected. She thought he was lying. Or, joking.
Why after a story like that?
Because, she said, her coworker had told her the exact same story, word for word almost.
The same story.
Yeah. Turns out it was a well-known local urban legend in that town, something people told. Maybe to scare newcomers.
So he experienced the local legend firsthand without knowing it.
Exactly. He lived their ghost story. Okay, so that's one kind of encounter where the legend gets, acted out. But sometimes the legend is real in a much darker way.
When the monster isn't supernatural at all.
Right. Let's shift to a story from a small island community. Jersey, actually. They had this local story, a kind of bogeyman tale.
What was the story?
About a beast that would get in houses late at night. The story said it came to fiddle with kids. Awful phrase, but that was the legend.
Just a story parents told, maybe? Keep kids in bed.
That's what many thought. But it wasn't just a story. This legend was horrifyingly true.
What do you mean?
For 11 years, from 1960 to 1971, this beast was real. He really did roam the island. He attacked women and children.
Oh, no. So the legend, it was describing real events.
It seems so.
Hold up.
The man was eventually caught in 1971. His name was Edward Paisnell. History knows him as the Beast of Jersey.
And the details.
When they caught him, he was wearing a rubber mask and nail-studded wristlets. Just chilling.
Nail-studded. Horrifying. Confirms the monstrous nature, but human. Disturbingly human.
And get this, his own wife wrote a book about him later. About living with him.
Wow, so the folklore, the whispers, were actually tracking a real predator for years.
Seems that way. A terrifying reminder that some monsters are very, very real. Now let's turn to South American folklore, but with a strange, decades-long echo in the U.S. El Silban.
Yeah.
The Whistler.
El Silban. Usually depicted as this emaciated figure carrying a sack of bones, often associated with parasite, right? And that whistle.
That whistle is key. It's said to mark his presence as he stalks victims, particularly men. This next account, it spans quite a long time.
Okay.
It starts when the narrator was 8 years old in Lansing, Michigan, walking the dog near a swampy, wooded area.
All right. Childhood memory.
They heard whistling, described as human-like, but Inconsistent. The pitch kept changing higher, then lower, not like a normal tune.
Unsettling, not quite right.
But the main thing was the mother's reaction. She didn't just notice it, she was instantly concerned, terrified even. Grabbed the kid's hand, rushed them inside, didn't explain why.
That immediate fear from an adult, that sticks with a child.
It did. 2 years later, the narrator is 10, taking the dog out late at night. Same place, basically.
Yeah.
The whistling started again. Identical. Same weird pitch changes, same inconsistent yet human tone. Came from near a big bush by their front door.
The same sound. Closer this time.
Yeah. And that feeling of terror just rushed right back, linked to that sound.
Makes sense. After the mother's reaction years before.
Okay, now fast forward 14 years. The narrator is 24, moved far away to South Dakota.
Big jump. Different state, different environment.
Totally different. They're in Pierre, watching fireworks along the Missouri River. The storm's coming in. The air feels electric, kind of eerie.
Atmosphere is already charged.
They're alone for a moment. And they hear a sound from the water. A paddle, dipping methodically.
On the river at night.
Yeah. Sees a figure in a canoe, maybe 20 meters offshore, wearing a hat, just paddling along.
Okay, could be anyone, I suppose.
Could be. Until the whistling starts.
Not again.
The exact same whistling, same erratic pitch, the sound from their childhood in Michigan. The narrator just freezes, pure terror.
After all those years, the same sound. Impossible.
The figure in the canoe stops paddling, turns the canoe towards the shore, faces the narrator directly.
Oh, wow. Direct confrontation.
And whistles right at them. The narrator shouts out, "Who are you?" The figure just whistles again, then turns the canoe and paddles away into the dark, out of sight.
Just leaves. After that, targeted display.
But the narrator is a videographer. Had their camera, they filmed it.
They got footage of the figure.
Got footage. Says you can hear the whistle clearly on the audio. And when they boosted the brightness, you could see the person seemed to be wearing like a red sweater.
Wow. Actual evidence. That changes things.
It does. But here's maybe the creepiest part. Later, the narrator shows the video to their mother. Asks her about that time in Michigan when she freaked out about the whistling.
Trying to connect the dots. Understandable.
The mother. She had absolutely no memory of it. None. Didn't remember the whistling, didn't remember being scared, rushing inside. Nothing.
Complete blank after such a strong reaction.
Total blank, which for the narrator just made the whole thing even more disturbing. Like the warning itself was erased.
That lack of confirmation, the denial of the shared fear, that's deeply unsettling. Makes you question your own memory, doesn't it?
Exactly. What do you even do with that? Let's move across the globe now to Northern Australia. Another local legend, but tied to a very specific place and a specific tree.
Okay, Australia. What's the legend there?
The Poinciana woman. It's apparently quite well known up there. Story goes, a woman was assaulted by fishermen, became pregnant, and then hanged herself from a Poinciana tree.
Tragic backstory. Common in ghost lore.
Yeah. She's said to appear as a beautiful woman, long dark hair, white gown, often seen near the local Army Reserve barracks.
Okay, so the setting is established.
The narrator tells this story from when they were 12, their brother was 10, they were in their house, in the lounge room.
Inside the house? Safe, supposedly.
Supposedly. They started hearing this sound, a faint feminine moan or hum. Very quiet at first.
Just a sound. Could be anything initially.
But it wasn't just a sound, it was moving. They said it moved from window to window inside the room in a clockwise direction.
Moving inside the room. That's very strange.
And get this. The night was still. No wind. But as this moaning sound moved around the room, the wind outside picked up, like it was connected.
The sound inside affecting the weather outside. Very unusual.
It didn't stay faint. The sound got louder and louder until it was so loud, both kids were apparently on the floor, hands over their ears, crying, just overwhelmed by this noise.
Physical distress caused by the sound. How long did it last?
About 10 minutes, they said. 10 minutes of this intense moving sound. Then it just stopped. Abruptly. Silence.
10 minutes is a long time for something that intense, then just gone.
Gone. The next day, they found something out. Their older siblings, teenagers probably, had been out the night before.
Where had they been?
At the Army Reserve, near where the Poinciana woman is supposedly seen. And they weren't just there, they were messing around, taunting the Poinciana woman, shouting stuff, climbing on the pillars of this locked gun turret there.
Provoking the legend. Not smart.
Yeah, definitely not. They only left because they heard footsteps coming towards them in the dark, got spooked and ran off.
So they potentially stirred something up.
It seems like it. But the final piece clicked for the narrator shortly after. They realized something about their house, about that lounge room window where the moaning seemed to start.
What was it?
There was a poinciana tree planted right outside that window.
The same type of tree from the legend.
Right.
Right there. The timing, the provocation, the specific location, it all lines up in a very disturbing way.
It really does. Like the taunting echoed back, but hit the younger siblings instead. Okay, for our last account, we're going to Japan. This one involves a recurring sighting, a quiet kind of haunting almost.
Japan has such a rich history of ghost stories, often tied to specific locations.
This fits that perfectly. The narrator is living there, third year in the country, lived north of town, had to use this narrow, winding road.
Describe the road.
River on one side, steep mountain on the other. So narrow that cars literally had to pull over into little inlets to let oncoming traffic pass. You couldn't just squeeze by.
Tricky driving, especially at night, I imagine.
Definitely. And there was this one particular corner marked by a big rock. And set into the rock was a small Shinto shrine, like a little roadside shrine.
Okay, a landmark and a spiritual marker.
Right. So one night, the narrator is driving north, heading home. They see headlights coming towards them from the other direction. Looked like a white car, maybe a tourist van or something. It was just past that rock with the shrine.
Standard procedure. Pull over and wait.
Exactly. They pull into one of the little turnouts before the rock, wait for the car to come around the bend.
And
It never came. They waited, looked, nothing. The white car just wasn't there. It vanished somewhere between the rock shrine and the bend.
vanished. Where could it go?
That's the thing. There was nowhere to go. Mountain on one side, river on the other. No turnoffs right there.
Strange. Maybe they misjudged the distance? Or it turned off earlier?
Possible. But then later that same night, they're driving south, back the other way, approaching the same corner with the rock shrine. They see headlights again, coming towards them. A white car, same type, just past the rock shrine on the other side now.
The same car. Or one like it.
Seemed like the same one. So again, they pull over to let it pass. And again,
It vanished.
it vanished. Never came around the rock. And crucially, on that side, the south side heading towards town, there was absolutely nowhere for a car to disappear. No turnoffs, nothing. Just steep mountain or the river. Literally impossible.
Twice in one night. Same car, same spot, vanishing act. That goes beyond coincidence.
It really does.
Yeah.
But the confirmation, the real chilling part, came months later. The narrator was teaching English at the local junior high, doing a culture lesson about Halloween.
Okay. Lighthearted topic.
Yeah, and they decided to make a little jokes, share their weird experience, said something like, I think I might have seen a ghost here. Do you guys know that road? The one that goes north out of town with the shrine on the rock.
Oh, boy. Bringing up the specific location to locals.
The reaction was intense. He said half the class just erupted. Screaming, crying, genuine panic, total terror.
Screaming from just mentioning the road and the shrine.
Yes. And the Japanese teachers in the room, they went white as sheets, apparently started moaning, telling the narrator, please stop talking about it now.
An extreme reaction, way beyond just hearing a ghost story.
Absolutely. Because, as the narrator quickly realized, they hadn't just told a weird story. They had, completely unknowingly, described the town's local ghost story, their ghost story.
The vanishing white car at the shrine.
Exactly. That specific rock, the shrine. It was known as a dangerous spot. Apparently, there had been accidents, and the locals believed the shrine was there for protection, that disturbing the spot, or maybe the rock itself, was bad luck, offended the spirits, something like that.
And the students were terrified because this outsider, this foreigner, described their specific ghost detail for detail without ever having heard the local legend.
Precisely. It wasn't just a story anymore. Here was someone confirming it, an independent witness to their deepest local fear.
That validation from an unknowing source, that's powerful and deeply frightening for those kids.
So looking back at these 5 accounts, Montana, Jersey, the Whistler, the Poinciana woman, the shrine car, they're all quite different on the surface.
Very different contexts. Hitchhikers, criminals, folklore figures, apparitions.
But there's a common thread, isn't there? These aren't just random spooky tales. They seem anchored. Anchored to places, to communities, to specific local fears or histories.
Yes. Whether it's an urban legend that catches an outsider, or a hidden crime masked as folklore, or a spirit tied to a tree or a dangerous road, they resonate because they feel deeply rooted in a particular environment or community memory.
It really shows how these legends, these unexplained encounters, they persist. Even now, they kind of map out the anxieties in the dark corners of our communities, blurring that line between what's just a story and what might be frighteningly real.
That line can be very thin indeed.
It leaves you wondering. These stories act almost like warnings sometimes. But what happens when ignoring the warning, or even taunting the source, seems to have real, tangible consequences? Or when the story itself stops being a warning and becomes the documentation of something truly awful already happening?
That's the chilling question, isn't it? When does the story stop protecting you and start describing the danger you're already in?
Something to think about. If these accounts have intrigued you, if you want to hear more about unsettling experiences and chilling cases where the known world brushes against the dark unknown, please make sure you want to love you. Like this recording, share it, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs.
Your support helps us continue to bring these documented encounters to light.
We'll return soon with more documents from the shadows. Good night.